Okay, happy Wednesday morning, guys. We got the bread baking vid. You can see back here I'm saving that in the movie maker, getting ready to upload that. Yeah, I had a little beer on the weekend, haven't straightened that out yet. Good morning, Wolfie. Woohoo! And today we got a specific goal to get accomplished out here in the Shine Shack. As you guys know, last weekend I did all the rough-in drywall. All the sheetrock was roughed in here, meaning it was gotten into place pretty well. Not a lot of big gaps to fill. But one of the big issues here, when you do new framing like I did here on the bathroom, you see I used new wood here. But 2x4s in the old days were different than 2x4s are today, meaning that when this Shine Shack was built in the 1950s, they used a thicker grade of 2x4. It was actually bigger. It's not the same size as the 2x4s today, so it's a little wider, and it's a little wider on both dimensions. So the reality is, when you get up here and you do some extra blocking on top with the modern 2x4, you see that you have space here. The old framing is wider. In other words, the old 2x4s that form the bottom part, the 8 feet here, are thicker. They're wider there than the modern 2x4s that were used to do the little framing up behind here. You can see part of the 2x4 up there. The result is that the drywall is not even. So what I want to do is remove these 1, 2, 3 pieces, lay them down on a piece of sheetrock. I got plenty of sheetrock left. I got plenty of scrap to use here, and I can make one piece on here. But I'll tell you what I can do to level this up is, yesterday at lunchtime I had a chance to go to the local lumber yard here, and I bought packs of shims. And shims are just little pieces of wood that are shaped like wedges, small little wedges, and you can see on the side some of the shapes. And I'm going to use some of these shims behind there on the studs to bring out the thickness of the stud, so that the walls will be at level, the upper part and the lower part. The reason I take all this time is, the more time you take to prep, and I'm willing to take all day to secure all the boards down. You see, I only have them roughly held into place with just a screw here and there. I need to go ahead and secure them real good on all the stud points here coming down. I've got them all marked. And I want to go around like the ceiling, anything that may not be level, anything that's slightly out, because the more level I make the drywall, the sheetrock, before I do the taping and mudding, the smoother and faster that operation is going to be. You don't want to be at a point where the boards, the sheets of drywall are so out of level with each other, they're so not flush, that you're using real thick amounts of mud drywall compound to try to level them up. That's a loser. When it gets hot and it cold, expands and contracts, that's a good formula for getting cracks. So that's the deal today. We want to get as much done to get things totally secured and ready to go for a big weekend of taping and mudding. I've recut a new piece for up in there, and of course one piece is always preferable to multiple pieces, but as I showed you in the previous upload, the new studding material, the 2x4, does not have the same width thickness as the old 2x4s that frame below it. So I've got these shims, and you'll see that what's interesting is they sort of oppose each other on angles, and they're adjustable according to the thickness that you want to get. So I have these shims that I'm going to secure up here with some nails on the 2x4 stud. And you can see now, when I put the piece of drywall on, you can see that it's going to be perfectly flush in there with the help it be flush with the one below it, and that's exactly what I want. I don't want different thicknesses out from the wall of 2x4s, because I want all my drywall to be nice and flush each seam so that it's very easy to tape and mud. So okay, that's our basic shimming plan for the day, and I'm going to go around different areas and shim as needed to get things nice and level. You can see now I got all the shimming in place I need for the really smooth fit of the really weird shaped piece of drywall here. So all that remains now is to get that piece up and dry check it for level. In other words, before I hook it down, I want to make sure we're flush and good all the way across. We have a piece of drywall up there that's much stronger, a great shape, custom fitted even more, and it's perfectly flush with the pieces of sheetrock below there. And it's exactly what I wanted to achieve with doing that. So now it's time to go around and check other areas like the other end down there. I think that one was a little better. I might have built out the studs a little more when I was raising the ceiling, but I'm going to check every board and shim where need be, and then go back and we'll talk about securing all the sheets of sheetrock on the wall. We want stuff really secured well so there's no flexing or no movement, okay? I've been all over the walls now and the ceiling, and it's looking good. What I want to do now is I want to start securing all the panels. You'll see I haven't hit all the stud lines with screws. I just got enough up there when I was roughing in the sheetrock to just get it hung into place and be secure. Now it's time to go around and start with the ceiling and work down and get all the sheetrock sheets really hooked down well. One of the things I'd really like to use is a drywall screw leather holder here that I just use a belt and strap to the side of my body here. And this allows me, instead of reaching into a pocket every time to get a drywall screw or go over to container, all I have to do is grab one out and go just continuously. Have that on my left side, and it's called running and gunning when you're doing sheetrocking. And it's probably the best 28 bucks I ever spent, and it smells real good too, that leather smell. So I'm going to get flying on the ceiling and walls now. I'm going to wear eye protection. You never know when a sheetrock or drywall screw may bust off and there's some dust get in your eye. Always make sure to wear eye protection, okay? I care about you guys. Sometimes to get a good level, I've got to lower some panels back down again and then put some shimming up behind, so that's what I did. This panel went too high, so I had to remove this panel or take it down some so I can work a shim in behind here and get her good and level. Is it worth it? Yeah, it's going to save a lot of time on taping and mudding. You can see behind me, we got things really level and really smooth behind me. So we keep working across. We got the other side to do too. Patience really pays off in preparation. Sometimes you just don't like the way a panel's fitting when you're going to do the leveling up top side, and that's the case over here on this end. You know, I came up a little short and tried to put a little blocking in the end there, but I don't have enough meat to hook onto to get that secured up on the right hand side over there. So what I decided to do, I got so much extra drywall, you know, I added 15% budget in, that I'm just going to go ahead and cut out a new panel and pop her on up, and I'll have much more holding power on that end there. So do a job, large or small, do it right or not at all. That was always the philosophy I had. So we're going to cut this new panel and get her fitted up there. Well, I had so much extra drywall, 10%, 15% extra, I decided to go ahead and replace a couple of the panels. Were a little ragged on the corners. and I wanted to have a more precise fit down there, so I'm really happy I did that. I exchanged some 2-foot panels for some 4-foot panels for more strength and durability. So the ceiling is totally tacked down, and now it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're going to start tacking the walls now. And make sure they're all good and they're all fastened down all the way. The tacking was before, now we're doing the finished fastening work to make sure these drywall sheets are very secure. I wake up in the morning, it's frosty, it's 28 degrees, it's 75 degrees now, go figure. They're saying this might be the biggest drought in California in 500 years. Well, I don't know who was keeping records 500 years ago. But I'm really pleased with the progress. Of course, I got the ceiling all secured down everywhere. And now I've got basically 2 of the walls done here, securing all the sheetrock down. Got 2 more to go over here. And then we're going to call it a day, and we'll be ready to start the mudding and taping and mudding festivities on the weekend. We'll give you one last check-in when we finish up today.
Commercial voiceover guys are Geico's local agents. Fact 1, your local Geico agent. Fact 2, you can talk to your local Geico agent face to face. Fact 3, fact 1 hit so hard, I don't know.
To see how much you could save on more than just car insurance, check your local Geico office.
Oh, man. I need to put my knee on one of those drywall screws. Wait. That'll wake you up. Well, I almost made it around the whole roof. Getting everything hooked down, but ran out of gas. It's okay. This will take about an hour on Friday afternoon to get the rest of this wall done. Everything else is pretty done. I'm going to call the bathroom a separate issue, but then I need to do the frame out the windows with the drywall, and that's going to be very interesting because I do a very good squared, ultra-modern type of finish, and I'll show you what I mean inside the main casa here. So thanks for being here today with me. Doesn't look like a lot got done, but everything got done real secure. All the sheetrock screwed down really tight, some new panels put up on the ceiling, so I am really happy. Alright, well, we'll be back on the job on Saturday and Sunday for full taping and mudding fiesta. We'll have a lot of fun. We're gonna have some tips on how to do it the right way. Thanks for watching today.